Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm coming back with a bit more Celebration inspiration, is what I'm calling these. There are some lovely things to choose from in Celebration. So what is Celebration? It's when you get free stuff. So what you can do is for every £45 that you spend during July and August this year, you get to choose from this booklet. And this is full of free stuff. So for £45 spend, you can choose the Hippest Hippos. If you spent another 45, so a total of £90, you could choose both that and the coordinating die set. So those are what we call level 1. And then there are others which, for example, the tree lot dies, and that's a complete set of dies, and that's if you spend £90. So you can only get that if you spend 90, but these ones come for £45 spend. So well worth having a look. And if you've got a few things on your list, if you've got a bundle that you fancy, do you know what? Have a bundle and get a stamp set for free. Can't be bad. I've also got some DSP just to share with you. This is the host DSP. So this is if you place an order or get together with friends and order £150 worth of product, you get 10% of that value in Stampin' Rewards that you can spend on anything. That can be Stampin' Up! Supplies, just stock, cards, ink, paper, or some specialty host stamp sets, or this paper, and you get 48 sheets of paper, and I think it's £16.50, so you'd put an extra £1.50 on top, but you get that money, and you can only get that if you put a big order in. So I've used that paper, but obviously you could vary this depending on what paper you'd got to hand. I just thought it was rather good fun. So I've got Hippest Hippos along with the dies, and the dies don't just cut out the hippos, but we've got these lovely little accents, so stars and flowers and umbrellas and hearts and waves and tubs and all sorts of things. And as you can see, you know me, I usually have some stamped ready to colour images ready to go, so I'll be using some of those up. And the other one I've used here, if you can see, are the lovely pierced edges. So this is the new Stylish Shapes dies, and they just create a lovely effect. So here I've cut into the card and the DSP, which I'll show you how I've done that. And here I've just cut a shape out of some DSP as well. So I've already done that, ready to go. And in the Stylish Shapes, I'm using number 4 and 5 of the circles. So all of these here are Stylish Shapes, so squares, circles and 4 different banners, and these are beautiful shapes which do coordinate as well, and you get some really lovely sort of layers which I've you can see here. You can use that largest one and then get a lovely effect on there. So that's for another day. So let's get started. So to start off with, you're going to need a card base. So whatever your standard card base is, I've done Tentfold, as you can see there. So mine is 29 by 10.5, and I've scored at 14.5. You then want a piece of card and a piece of DSP, designer series paper, double-sided paper, whatever you want to call it, and those are the same as your card front. So mine are 10.5 by 14.5. And I am quite simply going to use my larger of my 2 dies to cut some circles. Now obviously I want to make sure that I've got enough space on those, and I'm going to use a bit of post-it note to keep that in place. But what I'm going to do is use that pre-cut shape to kind of go, have I got enough space? So I can have that one, and I'll have space there, and I'm still going to have space over here for my 3rd one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut one from the top and one from the side of this particular one. So there's my DSP. So I'm just going to take that out of the way. Keep those for another project, perfectly usable. And I'm going to pop my larger die away because I've finished with that. But what I do want is my smaller one. And this is where it's just a bit of fun, really. So you're going to add your DSP to the front. When I say add, we're just going to lay it on the top at the moment. And I'm then going to pop my die in there, make sure it's nice and lined up so that I've got a nice border. And stick that in place. And I'm going to do the same on the side here as I am on the front there. So move your DSP out of the way and pop that through your die cutting machine. So I've done the first one. Repeat it by lining it up and adding your die in there. So when you come back, here you've got a piece of DSP which is going to layer over, and you've got those pretty layers, and then one of these that you can use by adding this to the side, and then you can trim that off as you want to. So I'm going to glue my DSP in place first. Now what you will need to do is make sure you come up to those little points and down in between, because you don't want that lifting up at all. And then just try and be fairly precise, you don't want any glue oozing out. There we go. Just get some fun layers there. And then I'm going to add my pool party card onto the front of my die cut shape to get a nice border, as you can see. And then what I'll do is add this onto the side and then trim that by hand. So I'm just going to, actually what I will do is I'm going to pop that there and actually mark. And I'm going to pop that in my trimmer so that I get a nice straight cut by popping those two lines in there. And I can then pop some dimensionals onto the back to lift that up on front of my card front. And I've used an erasable pen, so if, as I haven't quite cut it, I can just erase those marks. Obviously you could use a pencil if you wanted to. So there's my card front ready to go, and you're kind of going, but that, are you going to pop that behind the top? No, I'm not. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pop my character just inside there. And again, I'm just going to come in and draw a line. And then what this does is it means I'm going to cut on top of that line so that when I add my card to my layer to the front, and this is going to be flush. Not good practice. Don't do what I've just done, which is add glue while it's on top of another piece of cardstock, because you can guarantee it's going to go wrong. But you'll see I'm going around the outside there to make sure it's going to adhere well. And when you pop that on the front, it's going to be nice and flush. And all I'm going to do is pop that in there, and you'll see it just sits nice and flush against the bottom rather than having a sort of a lip on it. I just preferred it. Okay, now we can add our other two characters to these. So we're going to need to do a little bit of colouring. So I've used grey granite to colour these, and so I just thought I'd come in with some Pool Party, and I'm just going to use my dark Pool Party on this one. As I said, you know, it's quite fun to have some of these already sort of coloured as your basic sort of hippos, and then you can come back and just add sort of whatever the coordinating colour is that you want to use. So there's my fun little hippo. I'm going to colour that flower in to tie that in as well. I need a green. I'll have to find myself a green. Perhaps I'll have to have some pink flowers. So I'm going to pop this one up on dimensionals. Our little pirouetting hippo. She can just be on tiptoe there. And then this one as well. And actually what I'm going to do is, before I do, I'm just going to come in very lightly and just go sort of ground that image a little bit to help it blend into the sort of Pool Party background. Just to get rid of that white line. I usually use light Pool Party. I find that sort of is lovely. It sort of helps sort of create a little bit of a sort of a grounding for that. Now I'll pop my dimensionals on, and then all that's left is for us to, there we go, is to do our sentiment. And for that, what I've actually done is I've cut one of my banners in Pool Party already, and I might trim that off. And I've got this, there's a fun sentiment which which I think will work really well. Or you really are the best. I'm going to make sure that I clean that off. I'm fairly sure it was Night of Navy, but you never know. And so let's just make sure before I go stamping. There we go. And I'm going to add that on with a dimensional onto the back there. Just like so, just overlapping. And I'm going to tuck that just under the corner there, just by flat gluing. This has come from it, that's some adhesive on it. Great, even better, not so much glue required. Okay. So pop that in under there. And then all you need to do is, as and when you want, you can add a piece of card to the inside, just slightly smaller, and that'll just finish it off and stamp your envelope. And there we have a couple of just layered aperture cards, which I think are great fun with the Hippest Hippo. Thanks for watching. Please do hit, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications of when I post a new video. And if you're able to shop with me, I would really appreciate it. And then use the host code if you're ordering under £150, and then I can send you some extra goodies with your thank you next month. Thanks for watching. Come back soon. Bye now.